What is expected of you when you're critiquing an article? How should your write-up look like? What are the things you should be noting? Those are the things we'll be talking about in this video. So if you have not liked, if you have not subscribed, first do that. Do that, do that, do that. You know you're going to get a lot of gems from this video. All right, so being cheeky about now. When we critique an article, what is your point? You probably wonder that. Is it that the article is not good enough? No. But it's just that in research, there are certain protocols and procedures that have to be followed. As you know, there's no perfect research. So there will always be that thing that we can point out. Now, when we say critique does not necessarily mean pointing out all of the bad things only. It means pointing out the good things that will strengthen the articles and the bad things that might affect some findings or some other things within the article. So that's why it is important to critique your article, particularly if you are conducting a literature review, or literally that actually, if you're conducting a literature review, you want to know whether the included studies that you will be using are of good quality, and how best to do that than to critique the article. So you critique each article based on their methodology. Is it a qualitative study? Is it a quantitative? If it's quantitative, is it cross-sectional? Is it a cohort study? What kind of study is it? That's what you would use to determine how to critique your article. So that means once you are able to critique those articles and you can decide that, oh, it's of good quality, it also indirectly impacts on what kind of literature review you've carried out, which means your literature review will be of good quality because the studies you have included are of good qualities. We have so many critique tools that we use. We have the CASP. I'm sure you've seen my video on how to critique an article. If you haven't, you can watch that here where I showed you how to critique an article and how to document that. I've done that extensively. You can watch the video here. I'll make more current videos. I think that's a little pretty old actually. I'll make current videos as well that address that, or that shows like a detailed tutorial. Apparently you guys want me to hold your hands and show you this is how you write it. So I'm going to do that in subsequent videos, but I did do that in this previous video, so make sure to check it out as well. Now, we have different tools that you can use. Some of these tools include the CASP tool, the JBI, which is Joanna Briggs Institute tool. We have the Holland and Rees that is mainly used by nurses. So you have several other tools like that. The list is endless. I can leave the list in the description box for you to check out. So you pick your tool based off of your methodology, literally. I mean, it depends on who you are as a person and which one has been recommended by your school. So you choose that and then go ahead with it. It has several questions. That's how a critique tool works. Critique tool, for example, the CASP tool has between 10 to 12 questions which you have to answer. What method was used? Does the finding, does it correlate to the research question? Do you think the appropriate method was used? If so, why? If not, what do you think should have been used? Those are the questions that will be asked just to define if the article is of good quality or not. So that's what you will be trying to answer. Once you've used this critique tool, you then need to document what you have seen. Now, the mistake people make, or the confusion, comes when you're like, this is the question. Sometimes in CASP is usually yes, no, or maybe. How do I then document that? Or how do I detail what I have seen? The whole essence of your write-up is not just for you to write yes, no, or maybe. It's for you to create a proper essay on that article, especially if you're writing an essay about it. Not just, if it's a literature review, a table will suffice. You just create your CASP. I like CASP a lot, so I'm going to be a little bit biased. Your CASP table, which shows is it yes, is it no, is it maybe, and then the total score and what you think the quality. Just rate the quality based off of that. So that's pretty straightforward. But when it is a coursework, an essay where you've been asked to critique one article, so you start with your tool that you're going to use. The tool, the whole essence of that is it makes your work really easy when you're writing. You have a flow, which is important, which means that you can use 2 questions to make 1 paragraph. That's a trick that you can use. Now, the whole essence of that when you're doing that write-up is you want to say, this is what I've been done. Say, for example, this study has conducted a randomized control trial. Now, do you think this is appropriate? The tool might not ask you that, but the next thing you want to answer is, if it has conducted a research control trial, is it appropriate? Why did you say it's appropriate? Now, all of these reasons, all of these whys has to be referenced. That's how you write your essay. It's pretty straightforward. Again, I said I've made this detailed video on how to write it. I've shown you how to write it. I will make subsequent new videos on how to write it, but in this particular one, I'm just talking in general, just here to give you like a little rant. So you literally just take that and chop it into your words to say, if conducted a randomized control trial because they're trying to get the effectiveness of particular intervention, it seems like the appropriate methodology to use because, according to this person, randomized control trials are known for assessing effectiveness of an intervention. Some of the advantages of a randomized control trial is this. However, some of the disadvantage may include this. That's it. That's how you do the write-up, and you do that for all of the questions, and that way you have like a robust critique. Now, I do want to point out some things. One major thing that people write a lot, which is this person has conducted the study in US or maybe in Malaysia. It will not be generalizable to the rest of the world. That's a wrong assumption. Why you should never write so certainly no. So if someone has done a particular study in a particular place and you want to tell us that it's possible that the findings may not be generalizable because the study has only been conducted with a particular cohort in a certain country. Now, you need to state it that way, to say it may not that it will not. You saying it will not is so certain. You're very certain it will not, and that's not how research works. So it's possible that it might not is different from it will not. So please bear that in mind. Yes. So that's literally how you put all your critique words together. So follow that sample and just chuck it up together, and you have a whole write-up. I mean, critique is one of the coolest things that you can do. Why do I say that? You get to explore another researcher's work. Now, not rubbish it, because some of you think that critiquing is negative. You don't get to rubbish it. You just get to go through it to say, okay, why did this person do this? And also, in case you want to carry out a research like that, it would inform how you would go about yours, either improve on their methodology or adopt some of their methodology as well. So that's one of the benefits of this. Now, I hope that this is helpful. I hope that you've gotten a thing or two from that. I hope that you send this to your friends and colleagues. You know what you're doing when you're trying to critique an article, and you're very clear on how to or what you need to critique an article. Now, until I see you again in my next video, make sure you put a smile on somebody's face. Bye.